Namaste, everyone. In today's podcast, I'm going to tell you a little more about the upcoming full moon in Bharani Nakshatra, which is going to take place at the very end of this sacred month of Kartik on 5th of November. Now, Bharani Nakshatra, it's really the star of surrender. It actually really embodies the quality of surrender and devotion. Not only it is the nakshatra ruled by Venus, it is also the nakshatra which has as its very power, as its very Shakti, the energy called Apabharani Shakti, which is literally the power to let go. Let go with the flow. Let the rivers of life, let the rivers of time take everything away, and may you be taken exactly where you have to be. Now, this makes a lot of sense because Bharani Nakshatra is presided by Yamaraj, who is the god of death, but he is also the god of rebirth. Yamaraj actually takes care only of those souls who are about to be reborn. So Yamaraj really represents this, you could say, almost liminal space between death and a new birth. And on a psychological level, it often represents this liminal space in our minds after something has already died or where something already has to go, but something new is not yet crystallized, not yet born, not yet clear, not yet on the horizon. And Bharani Nakshatra often inspires us to actually explore this space and not be afraid of this space where the old you perhaps has already died and the new you is not yet born, because that liminal space is where true transformation happens, where you can touch something much deeper within you, which is beyond any external identity. So, of course, when moon shines in its fullness in Bharani Nakshatra, it often simultaneously invites us to really be ready to let go fully of these old parts of ourselves, old parts of our identity. Because bear in mind, whenever moon is full in Bharani Nakshatra, the sun is shining right opposite to it in Sidereal Libra in debilitation. And when sun goes through debilitation, when sun is symbolically at its lowest, it is a symbolic invitation to all of us to transform our ego, transform our identity, transform everything you thought you were, but maybe you are more than that. Maybe some of those things you thought you were is not really someone you want to identify with anymore. And this is why really, the entire month of Kartik is said to be so spiritually charged and so potent for our spiritual growth, for outgrowing our old tendency, for turning towards light, because it always ends up with full moon, either in Kritika Nakshatra or in Bharani Nakshatra, but it's always going to be in sidereal Aries, while sun will be simultaneously experiencing debilitation. And that's such a symbolic placement for really letting go of all the old parts of our identity, of letting go especially, of these parts of our identity which are perhaps too pervaded by our ahamkara, which always wants more, which always thinks about I, me, and mine. That's why throughout the entire month of Kartik, we are always inspired to turn towards the greater light, to find the greater light in our hearts, which is exactly where sun dwells now, for Sidereal Libra represents the zodiacal heart chakra. And the Kartik month culminating with full moon shining in Bharani Nakshatra really inspires us to really allow ourselves, allow these old parts of ourselves to just go and to not be afraid of that. Because the problem is whenever we let go of something or the old parts of our psyche, we feel we are going to lose something. We fear we are going to be unprotected, vulnerable. But often what we do not see is actually what we are gaining by letting go of some of those parts of us. And of course, letting go of some old parts of ourselves is never an easy process. It always comes with an amount of grief, with a pinch of resistance, and it's all natural. Because all those old parts of you, they just wanted to protect you. They just wanted to be there for you. Because maybe you just didn't know better. But now in this bright fortnight after Diwali and leading us to the full moon shining in Bharani Nakshatra, it is a beautiful time to really work with any potential resistance that we may have within us. For example, if I would ask you right now, what is one thing that you tend to always resist? I'm sure you would come up with something. And that's the thing, like whatever comes into our minds, whatever is alive, when we ask a question like that, might be a worthy topic to work on when full moon is about to shine in Bharani Nakshatra. Because although some of that resistance might be amplified in this fortnight, at the same time, you may notice that if you just allow yourself to be witness to that resistance and offer it your compassionate presence rather than trying to push through it and fight for it. Because remember, when you try to resist the resistance, you are not embodying letting go, really. You are just resisting even more. So, of course, letting go also means sometimes just being a little compassionate to any type of resistance that we may experience in our life, even if it sabotages some part of our life. And allowing ourselves to stay really compassionate, aligned with the heart. And this, I believe, it's a very big topic, a very big theme of the upcoming full moon, because as moon will be shining in the nakshatra of Venus, sun will be seated in the sign of Venus, and simultaneously Venus will be also conjunct with the sun in her Mula Trikona in sidereal Libra. So there's a lot of Venusian flavor in this upcoming full moon. And Venus, of course, is the planet representing our heart chakra. And when we go through a fortnight like this, which really allows us to unburden a little bit our heart chakra, it's a beautiful time for personal transformation. It's a beautiful time to unburden, maybe process some unprocessed emotions like grief. Maybe allow yourself to enter more into the space of gratitude and forgiveness on a daily basis so that you may cultivate those qualities. Maybe you can spend more time offering yourself self-compassion in this time as well. Because these are all the things that heal our heart chakra. But above all else, what heals us the most, truly, is directing this heart chakra, this heart of ours, this little light that we have within us towards the greater light in the form of devotion or bhakti. Because when we divert our devotion, our heart towards the divine, we temporarily forget about ourselves, which can be a great thing because it may also mean you temporarily forget about your limitations. When we are in love, we often, forget about lots of our limitations, and so many more things are suddenly possible. And it's very similar when we turn this love and devotion towards the divine, which is really what this lunar month supports us in. How can we cultivate that devotion? How can we cultivate deeper state of surrender in our daily life? rather than cultivating resistance, which is something that I believe most of us are experts in already. But to cultivate surrender, to cultivate devotion, humility, compassion, forgiveness, this is not easy. This takes some conscious effort from us, which is why it's so amazing to especially try to put a little extra effort in that direction when we are in lunar months like this, especially when we are in fortnights like this, because we are supported by the universe in this time to open up our heart chakra a little more. And opening our heart a little more does not require from us to do hundreds of repetitions of great mantras or hours of meditation. All it takes is just a little bit of willingness. It's so simple. Like in the Puranas, it say that in this time period, all it takes from you is really light this little lamp every evening, but do it with true love and gratitude and devotion. Because as you light this little lamp of hope in the outside, and if you really do it with true feeling of your heart, that external offering can be so powerful and such a powerful reminder to always turn our attention towards the light. And of course, it's such a big theme right now, awakening hope and turning towards the light, especially as Jupiter has just become exalted in the sky and will stay exalted all the way until 5th of December, so still for quite some time. It's time when hope returns back into our life and when we can truly benefit in this period to transcend, some of our limitations, transcend some of our weaknesses, and really grow. So I do hope and I wish you all that in this beautiful, beautiful fortnight, you will really spend a little bit of time to just help yourself grow. Help yourself unburden from all those things from the past that might be holding you back. Help yourself turn towards the light. Turn toward the brighter side, because that's exactly what this fortnight will support us in. So I wish you a beautiful fortnight and a beautiful full moon. Namaste.